Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome back to the Fangoria Movie Challenge. This is the segment I've been doing with my good buddy, Joe the Horror Man. We're not only going to watch, but also review all 101 movies Fangoria thinks we should have seen. Today we're going to be talking about private parts. And not my private parts or your private parts, but the movie Private Parts. Private Parts is a 1972 film which runs approximately 86 minutes and is directed by Paul Bartel. Now, he passed away on May the 13th, 2000 at the age of 61. He was responsible for Eating Raoul, Shelf Life, and Cannonball. And he was actually the husband in Psychos in Love, which has always been one of my favorites. Now this stars Anne Ruman as Cheryl Stratton. She was in Jaws and a bunch of TV. Lucille Benson as Aunt Martha. She passed away on February 17th, 1984 at the age of 69. She was in Duel, Halloween 2, and 1941. And John Fantonino as George Atwood. He was just in some TV, which is a shame because he's a fantastic actor. Now, some newspapers refused to print the name of the movie in advertisements because they thought it was too risky, or risque, whatever you want to call it. First of all, I wanted to thank Eric from Last Venom 76 for sending me this movie. He sent me this movie quite a while ago, and I've watched it a couple times and absolutely loved it. Now, this tells the story of Cheryl. Cheryl moved from Ohio to a beach town. Now, she moved there with a friend of hers who is a real bitch. After they get in an argument because she walks in on her and her boyfriend, they throw Cheryl out. Now, Cheryl steals some money from her friend's wallet and goes to find another place to live. Fortunately, she has the King, I believe it's the King's Arms Hotel. I could be wrong about that, but where her Aunt Martha owns the hotel. Now, they generally don't rent to younger people. They like to keep it an older, more respectable crowd. This place houses some interesting people. The characters in this movie are very interesting. You have a gay prostitute who always dresses as a priest. Well, most of the time. You have a complete drunk who just makes a mess out of everything. And you have George. George is a photographer who likes to take pictures of pretty women. Now, Aunt Martha decides to let her stay there so that she can make a proper woman out of her. The only problem is George also has his sights set on Cheryl. And that's where I'm going to leave it. This movie is amazing. I absolutely love it. And Joe was actually right when I talked to him about this movie when we were chatting back and forth. Cheryl actually has this really cute awkwardness to her that kind of grew on me as the time went by in the film. The guy who plays George did a fantastic job. I'm not going to tell you what the twist is, but the twist is very ahead of its time for this type of film. And it just has the movie builds a lot of suspense and generally just makes you feel very uncomfortable. Maybe it's the quirky characters, or maybe it's the impending sense of you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, because with this cast of characters, something's going to happen, and it ain't going to be good. But it just has that really good feel to it. Unfortunately, this movie has never gotten a proper Blu-ray release. This is a Warner Brothers DVD, and for some reason, I have no idea why, they decided not to release it on Blu-ray for the moment. And I think that's one of the reasons, besides the fact that it's kind of hard to find, is nobody really talks about this film, and it's a shame. This film is very ahead of its time. It mixes very uncomfortable themes with a little bit of comedy here and there, and it just works. And I loved seeing the lady that played Aunt Martha, the one that played Mrs. Elrod in Halloween 2, kind of take on a major role. Do you want mayonnaise on your sandwich, Harold? How about mustard? I mean, she has that same tone, and I just loved it. This is a underrated gem. And if there's any way you can see this, I don't know if it's on Tubi, I don't know if it's on Prime. I don't really have to go searching for it because I have a copy of it, but if you can find a way to watch this one, I don't think you'll be sorry. It's a wild one. Now, my relatable recommendation is probably one of my favorite movies that I've bought and watched over the past maybe 10 years, and that is going to be Killer of Dolls. Now, this has a very similar theme to it. This is a Spanish film, and it is, of course, subtitled. I know some people have a problem with that, but this movie is a freaking masterpiece. And not only Private Parts, but Maniac owes this movie a great debt of gratitude. Check out Private Parts, check out Killer of Dolls, and be sure to check out Joe's review and see what he picks as a relatable recommendation. Although I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that one. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.